A sea of resistance Gen Z takes to the streets. The youth of Kenya, vibrant and determined, have risen to challenge the status quo. They are not just a demographic, they are a force to be reckoned with. The air crackled with energy. It was palpable, a living, breathing entity that seemed to fuel the very ground they marched on. The streets, usually bustling with the mundane, were now alive with the spirit of change. Thousands of young Kenyans flooded the streets. They came from all walks of life, united by a common cause. Their numbers were a testament to their collective frustration and their unwavering hope for a better future. Their voices, a chorus of defiance. Each chant, each slogan, echoed through the city, reverberating off buildings and into the hearts of those who heard them. It was a symphony of resistance, a melody of change. They were protesting the government's new finance bill. A bill that, in their eyes, represented more than just financial policy. It was a symbol of the disconnect between the government and the people it was supposed to serve. This wasn't just about taxes, it was about fairness, about justice, about the right to a future that wasn't burdened by the mistakes of the past. It was about a generation demanding to be heard. This was about their future, a future that seemed increasingly uncertain in the face of economic hardship and political instability. They were fighting for the right to dream, to hope, to build a life that was their own. The finance bill, with its proposed levies and taxes, felt like a slap in the face. It was seen as an attack on their livelihoods, on their ability to thrive in an already challenging environment. It was a line in the sand. It targeted everything from digital content creation to basic goods. For a generation that has grown up in the digital age, this was particularly egregious. It felt like an attempt to stifle their voices, to limit their potential. For a generation already grappling with unemployment and a high cost of living, it was a breaking point. They were already struggling to make ends meet, to find jobs, to build a future. This bill was the final straw. The demonstration was a sea of youthful energy. It was a powerful reminder that the youth are not just the future, they are the present. They are here, they are now, and they are demanding change. Homemade signs bore witty slogans, each one a testament to their creativity, their intelligence, their passion. They were not just protesting, they were making a statement, one that could not be ignored. The mood was determined, yet joyous. There was a sense of camaraderie, of unity, of shared purpose. They were not just individuals, they were a movement, a collective force for change. This was a generation refusing to be silenced. They were standing up, speaking out, and making their voices heard. They were showing the world that they would not be ignored, that their concerns were valid, that their future mattered. This was Gen Z's moment to show Kenya and the world that they wouldn't back down. They were resilient, they were determined, and they were ready to fight for their rights. This was their time, their movement, their revolution. They were fighting for their right to a future, their future, a future where they could thrive, where they could build, where they could dream. This was more than a protest, it was a declaration of hope, of resilience, of unwavering determination. The digital natives defining Kenya's Gen Z. This generation is unlike any other before them. They are the first to grow up in a world where the internet is a given, not a luxury. Born after 1997, Kenya's Gen Z is tech-savvy. They're digital natives. From a young age, they have been exposed to a plethora of digital devices, making them incredibly adept at navigating the digital landscape. They grew up with the internet. For them, the online world is as real as the physical one. They use it for everything from education to entertainment, and even for social activism. Smartphones are extensions of their hands. These devices are not just tools, they are lifelines that connect them to a world of endless possibilities and information. They're connected to the world. They see the possibilities. Through social media and other online platforms, they are exposed to global cultures, ideas, and opportunities that previous generations could only dream of. They're entrepreneurial, they hustle, they're creative. Many are starting their own businesses, using technology to innovate and solve problems in ways that are both unique and impactful. They use technology to solve problems, whether it's coding apps, creating digital content, or developing new tech solutions. They are at the forefront of technological innovation in Kenya. But here's the thing, they're also inheriting a country with its own set of challenges. Despite their digital prowess, they face significant hurdles that require more than just technological solutions. Challenges like corruption, inequality, and a lack of opportunities. These are systemic issues that have plagued Kenya for years, and this generation is determined to tackle them head-on. This generation is different. They're not afraid to question. They challenge the status quo and are vocal about their demands for a better, more equitable society. They're not afraid to demand better. They organize protests, start movements, and use their digital skills to amplify their voices and causes. They are the future of Kenya, and they're ready to fight for it. With their unique blend of digital savvy, entrepreneurial spirit, and social consciousness, Kenya's Gen Z is poised to bring about significant change. They are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the change makers of today. Fearless and fed up, why Gen Z is leading the charge. This generation is not just a passive observer of the world around them, they are active participants, ready to take a stand. This generation has witnessed the struggles of their parents. They've grown up seeing the hardships and the sacrifices made by the older generations. They've seen corruption eat away at their country's potential. The dreams of a prosperous nation have been marred by the greed and dishonesty of those in power. They're tired of empty promises. Time and again, they've heard leaders make grandiose claims, only to see little to no action. The finance bill was a tipping point. It was the final straw that broke the camel's back, igniting a fire of resistance and determination. It felt like the government was out of touch, out of ideas, out of excuses. The disconnect between the leaders and the people has never been more apparent. Gen Z is done with the old ways. They are rejecting the outdated methods of governance that have failed to bring about meaningful change. They're not intimidated by authority. They understand that true power lies in the hands of the people, not in the corridors of power. They're not afraid to call out injustice. They are vocal and unyielding in their quest for fairness and equity. They're using their voices to demand change. Every chant, every slogan, every protest is a call to action, a plea for a better future. This isn't just about a bill, it's about a fundamental shift in how the country is run, in how decisions are made, and in who gets to make them. It's about a fundamental shift. It's about creating a system where leaders are held accountable for their actions, where transparency is the norm, not the exception. It's about holding leaders accountable. It's about ensuring that those in power serve the people, not their own interests. It's about building a better Kenya, a Kenya where every citizen has a voice, where every dream has a chance, and where the future is bright and full of promise. A generation starved of opportunity, the jobless crisis. Kenya's youth unemployment rate is alarmingly high. Graduates are struggling to find jobs. The economy isn't creating enough opportunities. Imagine finishing school, full of hope and ambition, only to be met with closed doors. The frustration is real, the anger is justified. The finance bill felt like adding insult to injury. It threatened to stifle entrepreneurship, innovation, and further limit opportunities. This generation wants to work, they want to contribute, but they need a fair shot. They need an environment where they can thrive, not just survive. Section 5, the digital battlefield, Gen Z's arsenal for change. This isn't your grandfather's protest. Gen Z is fighting back using their own tools, social media, online petitions, and digital organizing. Hashtags trend on Twitter. Instagram stories document the protests. Online petitions gather thousands of signatures. Information spreads like wildfire. They're bypassing traditional media, they're controlling their narrative, they're reaching a global audience. This digital activism is powerful. It's raising awareness, it's putting pressure on the government, it's showing the world what's happening in Kenya. Section 6. From streets to screens, amplifying their voices online. Gen Z understands the power of the internet. They're using it to amplify their message. They're sharing their stories, their frustrations, and their hopes. They're creating memes, videos, and artwork that resonate with their peers. They're using humor, satire, and creativity to engage and mobilize. This online movement is not just about venting, it's about building a community. It's about connecting with allies. It's about organizing for real-world action. The streets may be where they make their voices heard, but the internet is where they're building their movement. Section 7. The power of shared struggle, building solidarity. This isn't just a fight for Gen Z, it's a fight for all Kenyans who are feeling the squeeze. It's about economic justice. It's about social equality. The protests have brought together people from all walks of life. Students, entrepreneurs, artists, and activists are standing shoulder to shoulder. There's a sense of shared struggle, a recognition that they're stronger together. This unity is their greatest strength. This movement is about more than just a finance bill, it's about building a more just and equitable Kenya for everyone. Section 8, a call to action, engaging with leaders and institutions. Gen Z isn't just protesting, they're demanding a seat at the table. They want their voices heard in the halls of power. They're engaging with elected officials, policymakers, and community leaders. They're presenting their demands. They're proposing solutions. They're not waiting for permission to lead. They're taking initiative. They're showing up and making themselves heard. This is a generation that believes in dialogue, but they also believe in holding those in power accountable. Section 9, Beyond the Bill, a vision for a brighter future. This isn't just about stopping a bad bill, it's about creating a better future. A future with good jobs, quality education, and affordable healthcare. Gen Z has a vision for Kenya. A vision of a country that invests in its young people. A country that embraces innovation and entrepreneurship. They're not just fighting against something, they're fighting for something. They're fighting for a Kenya where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Section 10. The legacy of resistance inspiring generations to come. This generation of young Kenyans is making history. They're showing the world what it means to stand up for what you believe in. Their courage is inspiring. Their determination is contagious. They're not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for future generations. Their actions are a reminder that change doesn't come easy. It takes courage, it takes persistence, it takes a collective voice demanding a better tomorrow. Section 11, A Generation Unbowed. Hope for a more equitable Kenya. The fight is far from over, but one thing is clear. Kenya's Gen Z will not be silenced. They are the hope for a more just and equitable Kenya. They're a generation that understands the power of their voices. They're organized, they're connected, and they're not backing down. The future of Kenya rests in their hands. And judging by their spirit, their determination, and their unwavering belief in a better tomorrow, Kenya is in good hands.